Broads Media.
What is going on, everybody? Okay, we are going to start today's show off with a wild conspiracy theory. Do I lean towards believing this? No, not necessarily. But when you are collapsing as brutally as we're watching, and the non-stop Twitter beef between all the players and all the fans continue to happen, I have to figure this out. And if that means asking crazy questions that will blow your mind, well, then I have to ask crazy questions. So this potential conspiracy theory lies with one Nick Sirianni, because not too long ago, I heard Brandon Graham reference that this was all media-driven. That's right, changing of the defensive coordinator, Sean Desai going to the booth, fans not happy with what they've been seeing. The defense getting shredded, and touchdown drive after 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 touchdown drive. That, everyone was so disappointed in the DC. Was very media driven to make that change. So is it possible? Are we truly looking right now at Nick Sirianni listening to the public? Listening to WIP calls? And actually, nothing wrong with listening, all right? I actually think it's awesome that casually Brandon Graham calls in to talk about Tyrese Maxey, or Bryce Harper references Chuck from Mount Airy. I love that. But what we can't do is actually take that and then apply it to what's going on in the NovaCare complex, all right? Well, I heard from Bill in New Jersey that we should change the lineup, so then I elected to move Kyle Schwarber. No way. Kyle Schwarber's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. And I swear to God, if I don't see him hitting leadoff again this year, I don't know how I'm going to handle myself. But, you can't go too far. Well, we've seen Nick Sirianni make a comment about not being closed-minded. You have to be open-minded. You have to hear the criticism and be willing to maybe, embrace what they're saying and at least think about what they're saying. He's been on the record making those type of claims. There's no way, after Brandon Graham mentioned that the move was media-driven, that Sirianni actually took that and went with it, right? Now, I'm in the belief that Howie Roseman overstepped Sirianni, because a few days before the move actually happened, Sirianni said, we're not making any changes. We believe in the ones here. And normally when the complete opposite occurs, not too long after, it's because there's somebody else with more power that elects to say, that's cute, Nick, but I'm in charge. I'm putting my foot down. This is unacceptable. 32nd in the league. 32nd in the league. You want me to continue to go through the stats? And you look from week 8 on, 32nd in the league. It's unacceptable. It's my way now. That's what I truly believe happened. But like I said, when it is so ugly and when it is so bad and you got all this attention on social and all the players speaking out, which is just a disgrace. I made fun of the 49ers forever because all they did was whine and bitch, and they were annoying instead of actually focusing on within. It was about the outside stuff. It was about what happened in the game, and you're angry with not having a chance, but not realizing that it's because Hassan Reddick, who was destroying people, destroyed your quarterback, and you had a tight end blocking. There were reasons why. It wasn't unlucky. It didn't just happen. Brock Purdy's elbow didn't just fall apart. There was a cause and an effect. But the way they discussed it all offseason long, Kyle Shanahan, the punter, the kicker, whoever the hell it was, is calling out Jalen Hurts. That's loser stuff. You got to get a grip grasp and a grip on your locker room. I stand by that, even though they are fantastic this season and clearly killed the Eagles. That's right. I am saying that they are dead. I don't have an ounce in my body, okay? There's not one part of me that thinks that they're going to climb out of this mess. Right now, Nick Sirianni has this out of control. Out of control, and they are doing essentially what the 49ers were doing, crying at the end of last year, looking like children. This is their version. Their version is Tommy Twitter hands, okay, A.J. Brown saying, I'm the first read. It's really just because Jalen Hurts didn't throw the football right. He was off. It was a poor throw. Yeah, that's great. Great fucking teammate, man. Great teammate. And I know that they're best friends, and I get it. And I've been on the record before saying that their relationship is super strong, and I don't think football can break that. But that's because they were winning. And when you're winning and A.J. Brown isn't happy with touches, but you're winning, and you think that Jalen Hurts is a special talent, well, then it's easy to overlook that type of frustration. All right, whatever's happening where they're banging heads, it's irrelevant because look at our record. You want a chance, AJ? You weren't having any damn chance in Tennessee. You want to go play with Ryan Tannehill? You want to go play with the team that doesn't know what an AFC championship game is like? Yeah, go play for the Tennessee Titans. This is about winning. This is about a culture that gets it done, and they host NFC championship games. At that time of the season, it was a lot easier and a lot simpler to really hold your hat on that. Now that they've fallen apart completely in so many different directions, Nick Sirianni's personality and his way of being that young, cool, hip coach, the rah-rah, now it just spirals out of control, and you're seeing that. The social media thing is a disaster. Everybody's quote tweeting fans and ripping them apart and now taking shots at the quarterback. And yeah, you know what? The quarterback is a problem. Jalen Hurts is not playing well, and Jalen Hurts has taken a step back, a significant step back this season. He's not seeing the field well. He's taking too many shots downfield and like not high percentage chances. I don't know why you look for Quez Watkins there. It's not a high percentage play. And I think that goes back to the coaching, because I heard Jason Kelsey on his radio hit mention we got to get more explosive plays going. That's the problem. I think that's the issue, is that's all they're looking for. And that's what Nick Sirianni loves. That's part of his brand as a coach. We need to win those explosive plays. Well, that's obvious that it's in the minds of all the players, and now what we're doing is we're forcing crap downfield instead of taking the underneath, instead of the game being simple, instead of a wide open Devontae Smith. That's what it is. You're trying to hit Quez Watkins, the guy who was unwilling to battle for a ball, the guy that's unwilling to put in effort to win a one-on-one matchup, to make sure the ball doesn't get intercepted, to try and get some leverage. Underthrown or not, I need to see more out of Quez Watkins, and this is the norm. Seriously, how many times do we discuss him running downfield and just not giving you anything, just getting exposed? He shouldn't be playing. Zacchaeus should be out there and doing everything that Quez Watkins does. It should be Zacchaeus, because he could do more. He may not be as fast, but what does Quez Watkins really do? Does that speed really open up anything? Because I just watch an offense that stalls out anyway. I just watch an offense that goes 3 and out and has no brand anyway. They score on their first drive of the game. They get a touchdown their first drive in the second half. But what happened in between? I'll tell you for free. Nothing. And it's a joke. We got Christian McCaffrey on TV that knows what plays are coming. He sees the formation, and he's calling out exactly what Jalen Hurts is doing. You don't think this offense is predictable? You don't think Nick Sirianni's offense stinks? It stinks. It stinks. And I want to dive deeper into this another day and add more context to it. I think it's a fantastic question, though, and a pretty interesting sports radio discussion on who do you have more faith in down the road right now. Is it Nick Sirianni or Jalen Hurts? And I don't even have to think twice about it. It's Jalen Hurts. I got way more faith in Hurts. I think that he can find himself again. I've been through the list of quarterbacks that have had some sort of down years, and they've figured it out. And like guys who are talking about Dak Prescott now before this last game against Buffalo being an MVP, the dude threw an interception every other snap last season. Josh Allen has had his ups and downs. Pat Mahomes right now isn't playing well. I just want to make sure that it's known that a lot of these quarterbacks that are having a good season this year didn't necessarily have a good season the year before. Like the Carson Wentz debacle is so a one-off that I know it's easy to get PTSD and to think that that's going to happen to any quarterback that struggles. But Nick Sirianni, his inability to draw up something creative and to be so bland, and for others to know exactly what's happening prior to the snap, and for you to be so obsessed with launching deep shots, I think that's part of the reason why Jalen Hurts is in this mindset right now. And that doesn't mean that when there's wide open throws that he gets off the hook for missing them and not hitting a Devontae Smith that's wide open or missing a lot and taking a shot downfield when you still could have got in field goal range. Part of me, though, thinks that this is what they stress, and this is how they want them to operate, and this is what they want Jalen to do, because that's their bread and butter. And since the moment Nick Sirianni stepped through those doors, it was about limiting offensive plays and winning the offensive play battle. But they realize now that it ain't going to work that way. You know, this happened without Witherspoon. This happened without Jamal Adams. This happened without Geno Smith. Brock Purdy's going to be talking about this for the rest of his life. The guy's going to be 65 years old at Thanksgiving, talking to his grandkids. Oh, that 92-yard drive after Pete Carroll screwed up some timeouts. This was like a legendary time in his life that he will remember forever. And you let it happen. You let it happen, James Bradbury, you burnt piece of toast. He was burnt toast. He's got nothing left. He can't do a damn thing. He gets shredded nonstop. They're picking on him over picking on young kids that have zero substance in this league. Ringo and Eli Ricks, and I love this, right? Because I ripped apart this defense as a whole for what they did with the third and longs and conversions, but then you see that, well, when targeted, when Eli Ricks and Ringo and Job and all them were targeted, then some of the stats were actually pretty solid. Stop it. I'm not judging a game against Brock Purdy and a bad Seattle Seahawks team going up against that. Like, come on. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that at all. If you are a legitimate contender, maybe Ringo blossoms one day, and I brought up the fact that they're unwilling to draft corners. But bros, Job and Ringo, shut up! I'm talking Witherspoon level stud. I'm talking Darius Slay in his prime, and then you have them for 10, 15 years of outside corner, and you don't have to worry about that position at all. Game-changing level stuff. Not, hey, they did okay against Brock Purdy. Or excuse me, not Brock Purdy, Drew Lock. Drew Lock. Oh, we did good against Drew Lock on a random fill-in. I'm not talking random fill-in, hold your owns. I'm talking real, I'm going to lock down your number one receiver and shut them down for every single game, every week, no matter who the opponent is. Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, the list goes on and on. I'm lined up against you. I'll have some pick sixes. I'll have some interceptions. I'm a dog. I'm a dog. Not undrafted guys that have a high ceiling that are nowhere close to being ready. Not that. And that's what some of these cats stats are. Not that there's a problem with having that in your bag and that being part of what's on your bench if there ever is a time where you need some fill-in stuff, but that's not what I was referencing. I mean serious. I mean Jalen Ramsey in his prime. I mean serious, legitimate Josh Norman in his prime. I want one of those, okay? One of those. That's not Eli Ricks. All right, it's not someone holding on to a back end of a roster spot and then becomes something serviceable. I mean serious. And Howie Roseman, now that we have some hindsight here, Howie Roseman elected to pay some old-ass corners and then let young C.J. Gardner-Johnson go. Let young T.J. Edwards go. But let's pay the guy that fell apart with the blink of an eye after having a remarkable season last year. Well, obviously, when you're that old, you have to be aware that it can happen at any point. When you play that many snaps in the NFL, all it takes is 1 year to become a nobody. And now that's what James Bradbury has become. But it's a flaw, from Howie Roseman for electing to go with the older guys and letting all the young ones go. It's really hurting you right now. What won't hurt you, and trust me, this will help you out tremendously, is utilizing the 2023 lawnmower stocking stuffer from Manscaped. Santa baby, the season for a fresh cut is finally here with the sponsor of today's show. Okay, Manscaped, the leader in below-the-waist grooming, have just launched their 5th generation lawnmower to help you avoid another silent night in the bedroom this year. Take care of your special snowflake with Manscaped and watch your South Pole shine like never before. Get the best stocking stuffer of all by going to manscaped.com and using code BRODES20 for 20% off plus free shipping. Mrs. Claus will thank you. What could be better than giving the gift of good hygiene for a few laughs? And a few laughs, not 4, okay? No one's going to be looking at your junk laughing. I hope not, at least. Starting with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. This is the crown jewel of the holidays, and dare I say, the best ball trimmer of all time. The electric razor's advanced skin-safe technology is a lifesaver and known for reducing nicks and cuts on the Santa sack. And there's also the Weed Whacker 2.0 nose and ear hair trimmer, the Boxers 2.0, Shears 3.0 nail grooming kit. I've been using Manscaped for about 4 years now, and it is truly the most remarkable product in the entire world. You get 20% off and free shipping with the code BRODES20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code BRODES20. Say ho, ho, ho to a well-groomed mistletoe with Manscaped. Let me be perfectly clear with you that this is truly life-changing, and if you are not grooming below the belt with Manscaped, you are missing out. It is so worth it. Nothing is more worth it in life than Manscaped. Promo code BRODES20. Get started today. Hurts was so sick, yet he's rushing the ball 13 times. You don't think that that's a flaw in the mindset of the coach? Now, he did run the ball well at times, but the guy can barely breathe. The guy had to be shipped to Seattle by himself and couldn't even ride with the team. You're telling me that we shouldn't think about possibly doing something else other than running his ass 13 times? The guy's not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to do anything. Nothing at all. Those interceptions were so bad, though. Gross. My last thing before we get to the anytime hotline calls. There's a word that I love, and I think sums up, I don't love that this is where the Eagles are, but I think it describes who they are right now, and it's searching. The team is searching for answers. And the problem is they're searching for answers, and this is the result. And normally when you're constantly looking, and you're getting this horrible ending, well, then it tells you what you need to know, and that's they're not good enough. And there's a problem with roster construction. There's a problem with coaching. There's a problem with quarterback play. There's a problem with defensive coordinator. There's a problem with, you name it, just being disciplined, having penalties that really hurt you. The more and more that happens and you're putting yourself behind the sticks, and now a 3rd and 1 becomes a 3rd and 6, changes everything, especially when you know you have a play that's an automatic 2 to 3 yards. They should really just start pushing down the entire field. I bet you they had 92 yards to go with under a minute. And come on, let's go. Let's tush away, and it'll be better than anything else we saw. All right, let's run to the phone, shall we? Let's kick things into gear here and hear from the people.
I can't believe it. You've 3 timeouts, and you're throwing to the sideline, trying to get out of bounds. Go deep in the middle and call timeout. I can't believe it. 90 yards, Drew Lock, 1 timeout, the backup for the Seattle. I can't believe it.
You better believe it, because it actually happened. And yeah, that's disgusting that you have all those timeouts and you don't utilize the middle of the field. It's 2023. You know that teams are going to play back and give you some open field. Use it! Use it to your advantage. You're telling me you can't find any way to scheme something up. And I guess Sheil Kapadia said something, who does an amazing job on The Ringer. And I mentioned this a little bit ago as well. What would Kyle Shanahan do with Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and DeAndre Swift? I promise you that he would make this thing look sexy as hell. We'd be foaming out the mouth, having seizures in excitement. I mean, I believe that. I believe we'd be that excited as a fan base because it would be so appealing and we'd be in love. There's too much talent here for this to be the crap that we're getting. How do you not use those timeouts, use the middle of the field? You have an advantage there with timeouts in your back pocket, and you still somehow screw that up. You better believe it. That was real, and that's who they are this year. They're a losing football team. They don't have a shot. They don't have a shot. I was in Petco buying food for my dog yesterday, and somebody behind me noticed my hat, so they brought up the Eagles. Oh, that game last night, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know. And the response was, well, they're still in the playoffs. You think I give a damn that this team's still in the playoffs? The purpose was to win a championship. That's where the expectations were, to finish the job from last year that got ripped out of your hands after half. I ain't worried about getting into no playoff. All right, it ain't about a playoff appearance. It's about winning games and winning a lot of games. And now you're worried about what seeding you fall into. It's ugly. It's ugly fast. So ugly that your quarterback is asking about commitment. What commitment in this room? They don't even know if they have the commitment. And then when asked about it, he goes, look it up in a dictionary. It's very awkward. I thought Sirianni had an awkward post-game presser, and we'll hear him speak a little bit later on today. So I'm fascinated to hear how he reacts to all this. But it was very out of character with Jalen, and he's normally cool, calm, and collected. So for him to crack, I think it says a lot about where they currently are, because I'm sure it takes a lot for him to get out of that standard Jalen Hurts mode, and it's happening, and it's happening pretty quick.
Bro, that is literally one of the worst Eagles losses I have endured as a fan. And not trying to sugarcoat it at all. That was one of the worst losses I have had as an Eagles fan. Unbelievable. I am so shocked. I am bamboozled. I am floored. I am mad. I am in my bag. I am all the above. I cannot believe this. I am so pissed off. That's the right word. We just let Drew Lock go 92 yards.
Yep.
To basically put a dent in our season.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say. This is not a good football team. They fooled us through the first 11 weeks. This is not a good football team. We had no business losing this game, and yet we did.
I wonder, because you say that they fooled us, right? And obviously I'll put my hand up and say that I was blinded by all the winning. But if we really look at it, and there were some out there that we pushed to the side and said, stop it, they're winning. What type of miserable fan are you? And I do still stand pretty heavily on that, because when you are 10-1 and you continue to find ways, I don't want to be a miserable son of a bitch for 3 months. I don't want to be a prick that just despises everything, even though my team is winning a bunch of games. And there's a lot of teams that would have went through that stretch and wouldn't have been 10-1 playing as poorly as they did. So for them to find ways, I valued, and I thought it was something about what they are as a locker room. So I won't shy away from some of my opinions and thoughts throughout that time. But if those that were still angry and still disappointed and not thrilled, if they want to hang on the rim right now and say, I told you so, I guess they deserve that opportunity to do it. I just would never in a million years want to consume my life with just piss poor feelings when my team was winning so much, even though it wasn't necessarily lovely to the eye. You can hang on the rim now, though, because there was a portion of this fan base that would do it constantly every single week. They would say, no, do not do it, don't fall for the trap. They were trying to tell us something throughout those weeks, and they kind of put a Band-Aid over it because they were winning. All of this was there. It was just a different outcome. So we put it away, and we said, we'll focus on this another day. We'll worry about this if we ever need to. Well, now I guess we need to. Now we're in the spot where we have to. It's a very uncomfortable time.
I honestly don't know what I just watched. I mean, I feel like the Eagles absolutely dominated that game for 3.5 quarters. Hurts had a terrible decision. It was the third quarter. We were driving down the field. Probably would have been a touchdown drive. Decided to throw a one-on-one to Quez Watkins of all people. Doesn't matter if it's a missed PI call. You don't throw a one-on-one to Quez Watkins there when you're at midfield and you're driving. And then what was that last play? Why are we throwing the ball 50 yards downfield? And don't even get me started on Bradbury. Dude got burnt 4 times on a go-around on the same drive. He's toast. He sucks. But also, like, what was Hurts doing? There was no need to throw the ball 50 yards twice there, and both times it got picked.
That's a lack of awareness. That's lack of awareness. And then when that happens, I'm not trying to let Jalen Hurts off the hook. He was a major problem, and he has sucked this year. He has not been good enough. You won't win if this is consistently what we're getting at Jalen Hurts. So I don't know if other teams are making an adjustment after the full year with Shane Steichen. I don't know if it ends up being more of just the guys that are in control now and the ones that are pushing the buttons have no idea, on top of the other team recognizing what Jalen Hurts does well. And then there was a blueprint set up, and now all of a sudden everybody has the answers to confuse Jalen and make it a living hell for him. Maybe there's a problem with the knee still that he's hiding underneath of his uniform, and then we find out about it weeks after the season's over that he was dealing with some sort of grade 3 something that was limiting him from being special. That really shouldn't change the thought process, though, and his ability to recognize time and awareness. And don't we talk about being undisciplined all the time with the head coach? If a team takes a billion penalties and they're constantly putting their team behind the sticks and now it's 2nd and long, that team's undisciplined. Well, that falls on the head coach. Well, is awareness strictly on the player? Is there something to be said about the coach? Hey, yo, recognize the time, recognize what we have. We can operate. We have plenty of plays. We can work the underneath, call timeout. We have something in our back pocket to help us, and it can benefit us. I don't know if that was necessarily discussed. I don't know if that was planned out prior to that drive happening. And I would love to have a quarterback under center that doesn't need that type of information, and you automatically know. I don't have to inform this guy what we have. There's 3 timeout. We know. But at this rate, I have to wonder if that's something we need to do. Because clearly these shots downfield are just a mess. Unless that's what Nick Sirianni wanted. When was the last time Quez Watkins, though, actually did something good? Never! He doesn't do anything good. I think that's pretty obvious. So can we stop? Can we stop trying to force feed him into this? It's a disgrace. I'll use anybody. Where's Greg Ward? Give me Greg Ward. I don't care. Give me J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Give me Jalen Reagor. Anybody but Quez Watkins. He's not a winning player. He's been here for a long-ass time. He's not a winning player. He's a losing player. And we've seen it way too many times to constantly trot it out there and try again. It's unacceptable. Enough's enough. All right, let's talk about TickPick. If you click the link down below for TickPick, my promo code is activated with the link. You will get $10 off of your tickets when you're looking to go to a Sixers game, an Eagles game, a Flyers game, if you spend over $99. And they have the best price guarantee. Best price guarantee. Their ticket prices will beat any of the major competing marketplaces. And if you find the same seats elsewhere at a better price than TickPick, you will get 110% of the price difference in form of TickPick credit. And there's also upfront pricing. So no more doing the math in your head to prepare for how much extra you plan on spending on top of the listed price than on other sites, because the price you see on TickPick is the price you'll pay at checkout, period, end of story. And there's no added service fees, no hidden fees or otherwise. So make sure you check them out and get yourself to an event today. It's the holiday season, so get somebody in your family, your loved ones, your kids, your cousins, your grandparents, a nice bundle to go check out John Tortorella live, to go check out Joel Embiid with your own two eyeballs. You won't want to miss it. Something I want to miss, though, is this Eagles game on Sunday, because there's something in my head that says, DeVito! 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 I have nightmares. DeVito! 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 We'll see what happens. All right, everybody. I love you guys to death. Talk to you on the next one.